Hi, this is Amie at the virtual Planetarium at Raritan Valley Community College. Let's take a look at some of the things we can see in the sky for the week of September 13th. Let's start with our upcoming moon phases. The moon will be new on September 17th. It'll be a first quarter moon on September 23rd and a full moon on October 1st. So here I have a picture of the Earth in the center. The moon orbits the Earth, and the line extending from the Earth to the right is the Earth's orbit, where we just were. The moon is positioned at new moon, so the daytime side of the moon faces the sun, but the nighttime side of the moon is facing Earth, and we can't see it. But about 2 weeks after new moon, the moon will have moved on to the opposite side of us, so the entire daytime side of the moon is facing the nighttime side of the Earth. So that is a full moon phase, when we can see the entire daytime side of the moon. Well, we love moons, don't we? We know about them, we love seeing them in the sky. How many are there? Well, it varies. Depending on which planet you're talking about. Mercury and Venus have no moons, no natural satellites. Scientists believe that may be because they are too close to the sun and couldn't hold on to natural satellites. Earth has one moon. We're very familiar with it. We've sent a number of robotic spacecraft there, and 12 astronauts have walked on its surface. Mars has 2 moons. They were discovered in 1877. Moons can orbit asteroids, comets, and dwarf planets. Pluto has 5 moons. Its largest, Charon, is so massive compared to Pluto that the two objects orbit a center of gravity that is outside of Pluto. All 5 have names related to the god of the underworld. The planet Neptune has 14 moons that we know about right now, but it's also a planet that we've only sent one spacecraft by. So if we send more spacecraft or spend time looking at Neptune with the telescopes that we have here on Earth, we may discover more. Uranus has 27 moons, all of them named for characters in literary works by William Shakespeare and Alexander Pope. Saturn got a big bump in the number of its moons a few years ago by scientists using the big Subaru telescope in Hawaii. Right now, we know of 82 moons going around the planet Saturn. Jupiter is the king of the planets, and it has, wait, how many moons does Jupiter have? Jupiter has about 600 moons. It seems Jupiter got upset that Saturn was beating it in the I've got the most moons competition. A team of Canadian researchers released a report last week estimating that Jupiter has about 600 moons orbiting it. Most are quite small. They're about 2,600 feet in diameter, so that is definitely tiny. All right, let's take a look at our sky. The sun is setting just after 7 p.m. this week. An hour later, the sky is dark enough that you can see the planet Jupiter and then the planet Saturn appearing in the sky. And certainly by 9 o'clock, you'll be able to see the summer triangle up above them, passing directly overhead. The summer triangle is made of the stars Altair, Deneb, and Vega. In the constellations, Altair is in Aquila the Eagle, Deneb is in Cygnus the Swan, Vega is in Lyra the Harp. The sky has changed over the past few months. The constellations and stars within them still look the same, but their place in the sky at a particular time of night has changed. Now, in mid-September, the summer triangle is up high in the sky. But if we go back 3 months, still 9 p.m., we can see the summer triangle on the eastern horizon. Why is that? Well, let's jump out into space and take a look at our solar system. We'll fly over towards Earth. Let's zoom out a bit so that we can see Earth's orbit around the sun. So there is Earth, and we can see that it orbits the sun. It looks oval shaped because we're seeing the orbit on an angle. But the stars are so very, very far away that they appear to be standing still, and the Earth is definitely moving around the sun. So when we are in one part of our orbit, we see a bunch of stars in the nighttime sky. And there are stars on the other side of the sky, but the sun is between us and them, and that outshines these stars, washes them out so we can't see them. But if we wait 3 months or 6 months, then we are on the other side of our orbit, and all those stars that we couldn't see before are now in our nighttime sky, and the ones that we saw previously at night are behind the sun, and we can't see them at all. So we see different seasonal stars from month to month, season to season, at different times of the year. So let us go back to our night sky, and we'll turn and look north, and we'll see one of those changes being exemplified in the northern sky too. So we still have the sky set for June at 9 p.m. The summer triangle in June is on the horizon, and the Big Dipper is up high in the sky. The Big Dipper is inside of the Big Bear. But if we move forward a few months to tonight's sky, mid-September at 9 p.m., the Big Dipper is very low in the sky at 9 p.m. In fact, you may even have trouble finding it because it's so low. If you've got houses and trees nearby you, they block out the bottom part of the sky, so you may not be able to see the Big Dipper. Let's look in the eastern sky. Look for another thing that we can see, another group of stars. We have the Great Square of Pegasus rising in the east at 9 p.m. Pegasus is a horse. He's a little upside down. So the Great Square is his body. Then you can imagine his neck and his head coming over this way, and his front legs over here, his belly, and then I imagine his back legs over here. So if you use your imagination, he looks something like that. But those back legs actually belong to another constellation, Andromeda, the princess. And we do have 2 planets listed here, Mars and Uranus, just starting to rise at around 9 p.m. But if we wait a few hours, they'll be up higher in the sky and a little easier to see. These 2 planets are about 12 degrees apart from each other. That is pretty close together. It's slightly more than the width of your fist if you hold your fist at arm's length. Uranus is just barely visible to the unaided eye. It shines at magnitude 5.7. So you're going to need a really dark sky to be able to see Uranus. You may have better luck if you use binoculars or a telescope. And remember, Uranus is about 12 degrees to the left or eastward from Mars. And Mars is easy to pick out because of its reddish color. All right, let us stay up all night, or you can go to bed and get up early in the morning, one or the other. And we've got the planet Venus and the moon. Monday morning, if you go outside and look up, you'll see the moon, a thin sliver of a waning crescent moon will be visible in the sky right by Venus. And then, of course, we also have our winter constellations like Orion the Hunter with the 3 belt stars, 3 stars in a row, and his 2 shoulder stars above and his 2 leg stars below the belt stars. If you follow his belt down, you come to Sirius, the brightest star in the nighttime sky. Well, that's our sky for this week. I hope you enjoyed visiting the sky and taking a look at some of the things that we could see. We look forward to seeing you at our real planetarium in the future. Until then, please subscribe to our channel and like our videos, and keep looking up.